how can we bring more harmony into this special holiday time? And it is a special holiday time all around the world. It is a time where we draw to completion. We come into the darkest time of the year and then renew with the coming light. And there's so many holidays that have been crafted around this, but there's a true energy to move into and that we can explore within ourselves, and an aspect of which doesn't necessarily align with how we move the energy of the holidays, but by being conscious of it, we can bring more of the energy that is true to this time of the year, infuse it into the ongoings of our holiday time, and begin to bring it together for ourselves. So, this time of the year, it is a time where it's all about rooting in, slowing down. We can really take our, um, we can we can take guidance from nature as to how we should be moving at any given time of the year. What aspects of ourselves as a being of nature is really are we really being called to lean into and to foster? And so if we look around, in the northern hemisphere where we are, I think where most of us are, there is a um everything is at rest. Everything is in a mode of leaning into the void to allow for regeneration, to allow for decomposition, nourishment, the deep nourishment that happens as the roots are nourished, and as the aspects of self that are in the darkness are nourished, because there isn't as much focus on the external, on what is on the blooming, on the growing, right? That comes in spring, that comes next. And so how can we lean into this time as we complete fall, this time of decomposing, of allowing for everything to fall away, of allowing ourselves to move fully into the darkness before the coming light, of course, which, the solstice, the coming, the return of the sun. This is what most of the holidays are based in. And um how can we really foster that nourishment of the darkness that's happening at this time? So we root in, we slow down, and that isn't reflected in our invitation culturally. And this is often called the busiest time of the year, right? So how can we bring some conscious energy to our busiest time of the year, bring a consciousness to how we can slow down even within that, how we can tend to our roots even within that. And so yesterday we talked about energetic boundaries and how we can hold our own energy, and today let's talk about how we can nourish that energy and hold it in the way that honors this time of the year, that really honors this rooting in, and letting ourselves lean into the darkness. So today we'll talk about how we can slow the pace of our body, how we can nourish that energetic field, and really lean into the energy, the support of the earth at this time, and and what we can receive from beneath, from within, from that darkness. And then how we can maybe even lean into rewiring our relationship with whatever aspect of the holiday might create overwhelm for you, might create stress for you. So how do we do this? We can simply visualize these roots. So we can begin to create a resonance between um, our own body and the earth body. And in so doing, tap into that aspect of ourselves that knows that we are nature. And we can connect with the energy on offer in nature, call that into ourselves. And one way to get there, I'm going to just walk us through a real quick process, because I feel like that's the way that we can really perceive it, but way better than me just telling you about it, right? So close your eyes and just begin to visualize roots growing from the base of your pelvis, maybe even from the soles of your feet. Connect first to those two places and then visualize the roots growing down into the earth. Like you are a planted being in nature, rooted into existence because you are here on this earth in physical form. Visualize those roots and then bring your attention to your breath. You can engage the parasympathetic system. There's lots of different ways to do it, but today we'll just use the shifting of how we breathe, and so that we can slow down the rhythm of our body, we can slow down the pace of our energy to become more coherent with earth, to become more coherent with the state of energy on the earth at this time, within the earth, the state of our energy as a being of nature, and call that slowing down into our physical body. So you can visualize those roots growing from the base of your pelvis, from the soles of your feet, and then just slightly constrict through the back of your throat as you breathe in and as you breathe out through your nose. So this slight constriction creates a bit of a whisper sound. It sounds like this. Slight constriction through the back of the throat. Inhale and exhale through the nose, and make the inhale and the exhale as slow as you can, maybe counting to 4 to 5 to 6, maybe even higher for the inhale and the exhale so that they match in length. And just do this for a few deep breaths as you visualize those roots. And you can really visualize on your exhale the roots pushing down into the soil, moving out into the earth, hunting down nutrients. And then as you inhale, let the nourishment pull up from the earth, from that darkness, to fill your being. And just take a couple deep breaths in this way. And as you do so, feel the slowing down of your body, the slowing down of your energy. So it doesn't take long to do this. You can for 1 minute, for 15 seconds, close your eyes and move through this process. If you have more time, obviously do it for longer. But if you have even just a short amount of time where you're wanting to root in, you're wanting to reconnect, to slow down, to shift the pace at which you're moving, to shift the pace at which you're doing and going, take a moment to move through this process, and it will shift your energy. It can happen really quickly. The second thing, and you can stay in this space with your eyes closed, is to nourish your energy field. So yesterday we created that boundary around our energy, moving off our body, that bubble, and that like a membrane we put in place visually. And so as you envision this energy moving up from the root into your being, envision that earth energy filling up not just your body, but as you slow down and you sink into that energy and you're pulling it up, resourcing it from the earth, allow that energy to also fill up this whole space around you, fill up this whole bubble that you put around you, that within this boundary, let that energy fill the entirety of your being. So the entirety of your body, the entirety of the energetic field that surrounds your body. This is known as the red zone. And we get into these zones, the different aspects of our self in the eighth chakra. And so you're tapping into this existence that's beyond just this life, that's beyond just this body. And we refill that through our connection with nature. which we inherently are connected because we are a being of nature. So let that energy fill up the entirety of your being as you breathe and envision that. You're breathing, you're connected with earth, you're slowed down with that pace of breath, and now you're refilling, nourishing the entirety of your energy field. And you can even picture it as like red energy moving up and filling you up. So just take a couple more deep breaths in that. And just notice perhaps a softening in the physical body. The shoulders may drop away from the ears, hips and legs soften. Maybe the core softens and the breath can move more fluidly through the entirety of your torso. And then go ahead and come back when you're ready, opening your eyes once again. And then just take a moment to reflect on any one aspect of the holidays that immediately has like a charge to your system, right? Like it could be anything. It could be being around a lot of people. It could be cooking more food than you normally do. It could be having a house full of guests. It could be a certain relationship that you contend with mostly at the holidays. Um, it could be, so many different aspects, and and so just tapping into one of those aspects that bring you stress. And from this state of being slowed down in the body, from this state of being really connected and nourished by the earth, connected to and nourished from the earth, what is the, let's close the eyes again. What is the new way you would like to feel in this aspect? And let that new way you would like to feel from this thing that brings you stress in the holidays come from this slowed down, nourished energy. And as you tap into what this would feel like, what it would look like, let it arrive to you in whatever form. Maybe it's a feeling you get in your body. This is the feeling I would like to have in this aspect of the holidays. This is what I would like it to look like. This is what I would like it to feel like. However it arrives to you, that knowing of what you want, what you desire, what is one way you could create a shift in your energy to get there? Something that you can do in your physical realm that's tangible, that can represent this desire. And it can be something small. It can even be the energy you're wishing to hold, that you close your eyes, tap into this slowed down pace, call it into your being. It could be that if it's overwhelming, to have to make a bunch of food for company, to that you create a plan, or you invite more of a potluck situation, or you um, decide to have one meal that's going to be brought in from elsewhere, right? Have one shift. It can be the smallest of shifts. You buy the biscuits instead of make them homemade, right? Like one, and this is just, one little example. You create from the energy that you are holding, that you are desiring. Find one aspect, as small as it might be, that in a way that will help to shift the energy toward that. And it could even be as simple as doing this exercise to embody the energy that you are desiring at a very specific moment in time. And this is just a reminder that to heal our nervous system in an aspect of life that we have created an association with stress around, in order to shift that association, we have to come at it from a place of rest. We can't change a stressful association with the same energy that from which we created it. And so, how can the question is that I'm going to leave you with today, how can you change the energy in even in the smallest of ways? How can you create that shift in the physical, in the tangible, that will help to support the energy? So we're not doing it in reverse where we're changing the energy to support the physical. We are deciding on the energy. What's one physical shift you could make in tangible reality to shift that will help to support the energy that you have landed on desiring? And when we do that, when we are supporting the energy that we want through the physical shift, then we watch the shift we're desiring happen effortlessly.